Today I have a review on the YZXstudio ZY1270 USB power meter. From here on out, I'm just going to call it the 1270. So you might be asking yourself, why do you want a power meter, or what are they? And like many people, I have a lot of devices that use USB power. And over the years, I've been interested in why some charge faster than others, and I've been striving to kind of make that charging experience optimized for the best possible charging times. I was using an older USB charger dock on another YouTube channel. It was super simple, but it had no connectivity for data collection. And the 1270 here has a Bluetooth shield on it that I purchased additionally. You can kind of see that cutout there. It's got a Bluetooth module in it. So what that means is I can synchronize it to my laptop or my cell phone and capture that data and really know what's going on. This is great for anybody who likes data and electronics. This also allows you to measure the voltage, the current, wattage, as well as test for cable resistance, and tells you what charging protocol is being used. So right now, if I click through here, oops, I missed it. It tells me that the Apple 2.4 amp protocol is being used, and it tells me what pins that data connection is going over, and for an additional power. There are two full-size ports on the 1270. The top one here is the smart port that attempts to determine the device you're using and optimize it. It's the communication that happens between the charger and your phone or device. The bottom port is the highest output in terms of amps. It's kind of like the dumb port, just passes the current along. For flashlights and other testing I'll be doing, I'll probably be using that bottom port the most often because I want to get, I don't care about the signaling that's happening. So input power is the standard full-size USB here at the top, or you can use the micro USB on the side. You've got the one switch here, and that controls everything. And then you've got these pogo pins, and that's how the Bluetooth module on the bottom gets power. Now, this originally came with just a blank board on the bottom. I bought the USB Bluetooth adapter here separately from the same seller. I was able to take off all 4 screws, slot it on, replace all 4 screws, super easy. So this has a really good display, and it's hard to show on camera just because how bright my video lights are. But it's got a nice resolution OLED display, and the graphing works pretty well, although it takes just a second to come alive when you've got something charging to reflect that change. But let me show you kind of what that's like. So I'm going to plug in a cable that I have here and then plug in my cell phone off camera. So there, almost immediately, you can see it react and start to change and show you what the charging's like. One thing I've noticed is you can really tell when your phone's screen is on or off based on the charging speed. So it was on there and I turned it off. You can see the speed there dropped. But you can click the button there and I can see my phone's charging at 1.749 amps. It's out to 4 decimal places, which is pretty good. It's a total of 5 volts right now, so combined, my phone's charging at 9.04 watts. And if I scroll through here, I see other things, more data, the approximate number of amp hours. There's a counter in there you can reset. There's a timer as well there you can reset. So again, here's the data protocol that's being used. And then there is also the ability to do a wire resistance test. And I'm not going to go into that. It's a little bit more complicated to run, and you need to have a load, which I don't have, to do your baseline testing. The software side of things took a good amount of time to figure out and play with some Googling before I was get it to figure out how to work. I found a PDF online of how to pair the 1270. And from when I learned that, I needed to go into my advanced settings here. And how you do that is really easy. You hold the button and power it up, and you get into this setting mode. And you've got all these types of settings in here. And the one I had to change was serial data upload. And if I push and hold, and it was off, and then you can scroll through here and tell it how often you want your data points to be. I'm going to set that, it goes through hex or ASCII. I'm going to set that real low here for another test I'm going to show you. So there it is. You just push and hold and it confirms it. And then you can either scroll back up to the top and long press and it reboots. So then nothing looks different there, but when I show it on my phone, it'll change how often it's pushing data. So I found the easiest way to obtain data here was on a Bluetooth phone. And this is Android. I'm using an app called Blueterm 2. And you can see it says not connected. So the first thing you gotta do is have your Bluetooth on. And if you go through and pair it like a normal phone, I didn't have a lot of success doing that. But you can go connect device here, and it says SPCCA. And it connects here in a second. And it's connected, brings up your keyboard there for some reason. And in a second, we should start to see data updating. So here's the data that start to flowing. And it flows best from these number screens for some reason. It doesn't like to flow, and you can actually turn it off. So you've got to have it on a mode that where the screen's lit up. And the graphing mode doesn't work. Here is the data as my phone is pulling it through, and you can see it only moves the voltage and the amperage. One thing I really wish they'd add is the time to this, just a running time count. It'd make graphing it in Excel much easier. But then you can use your app here, and you can start logging. And it'll just start writing this data to a log on your phone. You can then take that file, move it off, and move it into your computer. On the PC side, I had a lot of trouble getting this to work correctly. My Windows 10 laptop would see the Bluetooth adapter on the 1270, and it'd prompt for a password, which is 1234, but it would not connect successfully. And I had about given up hope until I did some more reading online and found that you have to go into the advanced options of Windows for Bluetooth and add an outgoing COM port. After this, I could pair with the device, and you had to do that in the extended settings of that COM port. I then used an app I found on the Windows Store called BT Serial Terminal, and it's a free app, and I was able to see the data much like I was on my cell phone. There are a few limitations for this. For me, I wanted one device to do it all, and the 1270 comes close to that as possible, but isn't quite there. For me, I was wanting the Qualcomm Quick Charge support to support at least 2.0, if not 3.0, so I could test phone chargers, power cables, and USB power banks. I also wanted a Bluetooth support so I could log that data and make graphs. Plug-in would have been fine, but wireless is kind of convenient. What I wanted that was not available on this model was USB-C to support higher voltages. ZYStudio offers a model that has USB-C but was missing quick charge. Hopefully there'll be a future model that does it all. I think that'd be worth paying a premium for. Like I said before, I wish time was able to be added to that data log that's available over a Bluetooth module. While you can add it later in Excel based on the settings you put in, it'd just be one additional step you wouldn't have to do, and you'd be able to keep things synchronized easier. Hopefully this will be added in future firmware releases, even though firmware updates are a little bit hard to do on this thing. This is a really nice USB power meter. The display is large, clear, and bright. Build quality is good for what it is, and there are a ton of options when it comes to this meter. An extensive manual would be nice. Online would be fine, and I feel like the tin that it came in here should have come with a little piece of paper to say, hey, go to this website and learn more. Without the manual, I spent close to an hour getting this to work with both my phone and my computer. That said, I love data that this produces, and I'll be able to use it in my flashlight reviews and power bank reviews and things like that. I think I'll even be able to use this to show the battery charging curves and chargers and so much more that you'll see in future reviews on this channel. I bought this on Amazon, and after a bit of dialogue with the seller, he did a great job in answering my questions that I had prior to buying. I will have a link below to his store, and make sure to ask either of us questions if you have it. This is a great meter for anyone looking for data without spending a ton of money on a more complicated traditional setup. Thanks for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel.